What's up everyone, how's it going? It's Simon here from CD Revival, and today I'm going to do my Scorpions ranking. Been promised to do this one for quite a while now, and today I'm going to actually do it. I actually did do it yesterday, but I had a bit of a problem with the mic on the recording, so the sound was pretty awful, so I'm having to redo it today, so hopefully this time it will be better. So yeah, Scorpions, they've been kicking around since the early 70s, obviously from Germany, I think one of the best German bands. There's a few decent German bands, but I think Scorpions are up there certainly with the best of them. They've done a fair few albums. How many have they done in total? 19, I believe, studio albums, a few live albums, obviously a few compilations and what have you. A few lineup changes over the years, and yeah, some good, some really good, and some not so great. And so they've had a few. Let's say their first two albums are very different to what came after for the next few, and then very different again. I've not heard all of their albums. I'll go through like pretty much most of them. And I have got the majority of them, though, to be fair. And but yes, in the sort of fairness, I'll basically just do a top 10 ranking. So my top 10 favourites of all of them, and they're the ones that obviously I know best as well. So yeah. Anyway, we'll start off with number 10, and my number 10 album of the Scorpions is this one here, In Trance. This is from 1975. This is their third studio album. Produced by Dieter Dierks, this is the first album that he produced of theirs. And it's he did basically everything up until, I don't know, the late 80s with them. So from I think it's about a 15-year run he did. Produced by Dieter Dierks, Klaus Meine on vocals obviously, and Rudi Schenker on rhythm guitar. Rudi Schenker pretty much writes the majority of the music. Klaus does the majority of the lyrics. This one's got Uli Roth on lead guitar, was with them since the start for, until I think about the 5th or 6th album. Francis Buchholz on bass, and Rudi Lenners on drums. This one here, I say it's a good album. After their first two albums, this is the first one that sort of started to become a bit more of a traditional rock heavy metal band, if you like. Some really good stuff on here. The title track's one of my favourite tracks. Excellent track, In Trance, and Dark Lady's pretty good, which is a Uli Roth track. His guitar style very different to Matthias Jabs, who would obviously take over from him. A bit more of a flamboyant style, probably. He does do some vocals on some of them as well. I don't think his vocal style is fantastic, and probably not necessarily when you've got a really good singer anyway in the band. So, but yeah, some good stuff on here. Top of the Bill, Robot Man, a decent album, and say a sign of where things were going from here on. So yeah, my number 10, In Trance from 1975. Let me know what you think of that album. I have slightly changed the order of since I first wrote it out, which was a few days ago, and then sort of doing a bit more listening as well, so I've slightly changed it. My number 9 now is Sting in the Tail, which I originally had at number 7, but I put a couple above it anyway. This is their 17th album from 2010. It's produced by Mikael Nord Anderson and Martin Hansen. Pavel Moshe on bass, not sure how to pronounce his name, he's Polish, and James Kotak on the drums. Yeah, good album. So it came out in 2010. I think this was originally supposed to be their sort of final album at the time. Pretty much classic Scorpions, fair, traditional stuff. Raised on Rock, Sting in the Tail, good stuff. Slave Me, probably one of the best tracks on here. Turn You On, I think, is probably my favourite track. A lot of rock based tracks. Raised on Rock, Rock Zone, Let's Rock, Spirit of Rock. Yeah, it's a rocking album, but yeah, decent album. Not bad at all. Not they're not by any stretch their most amazing, hence it being number 9 in my list. But yeah, really good, worth checking out for sure. Next I have at number 8 is their most recent album, which is Rock Believer. Yeah, I do like this one. It's their 19th album, so it came out in 2022. Produced by Scorpions and Hans Martin Buff. A good album, decent cover as well. So their covers were really good back in the day, and then they kind of went a little bit not so good. And I think this one is actually a decent, interesting cover. Mikkey Dee on drums for this one. Obviously, was originally well, he played drums in King Diamond and also famously in Motorhead for quite a long time. Since Motorhead split up, then, well, not split up, obviously Lemmy died, and yeah, Mikkey Dee has gone on to join the Scorpions. Good drummer. Drum sound on this is probably not the best. It's a little bit processed for my liking, but still a decent performance by him. Pavel on bass as well. Some good stuff on here. Gas in the Tank is excellent. Shining of Your Soul and Seventh Son, probably the 2 best tracks, I think. Call of the Wild is a really good one too. Rock Believer, decent enough track. But yeah, a good album. It's been a while since obviously they did anything. And came back with this, and yeah, really good, like well impressive, and a good, well worth album. So that's number 8 now for Rock Believer from 2022. Number 7 is this one, Humanity Hour 1. It's their 16th album from 2007. This one, not a lot of people like it, I don't think. I think it's excellent. I really do enjoy this album a lot. This one's produced by James, Michael and Desmond Child. It's not your typical Desmond Child production, I would say. In fact, I'd say it's probably Scorpions' heaviest album. Good crunchy guitar sound. Pavel and James Kotak on bass and drums. And yeah, a lot of really good stuff on here. Hour 1, good crunchy track to start up with. Game of Life, We Were Born to Fly, both really excellent as well. 3, 2, 1, another really good track. Say it's got a bit of a supposed concept to the album. I could not tell you what that is. I'm not massive on concept albums, if I'm being brutally honest with you. I just, you know, the music, the lyrics are a little bit secondary for me a lot of the time. Certainly with the Scorpions, you're not expecting mega super deep lyrics or anything, but yeah, really good album. This one's got a bonus DVD with it, with behind the scenes, and it's got a bonus audio track on it as well. Yeah, really good album. If you've not listened to this one for a while, I advise to recheck it out, because I think it's a really, really good album with some like heavy stuff on it, and still with the sort of catchy vocals and good choruses that Scorpions, I think, are kind of famous for. So well worth a listen. Now we are at number 6. Number 6, I've got Crazy World from 1990. This is their 11th album, produced by Keith Olsen and the Scorpions. The last album with Francis Buchholz on bass. And this is the first one that wasn't produced by Dieter Dierks, obviously, for a long, long time, since In Trance. It's got their most famous track on here, Wind of Change, obviously mega single all across the world, especially in Europe. I think it made number 2 in the British charts, which I was very surprised by. But yeah, some good stuff on here. Tease Me, Please Me, Don't Believe Her, I think is a really good track. And To Be With You in Heaven as well. I think it sort of like dies off maybe a little bit towards the end. Probably their most commercial sounding album. Maybe not their most commercial sounding album, but it's certainly quite a commercial sounding album. And so yeah, a massive hit for them. I think it might be their best selling album, but don't quote me on that. Still well worth a listen. Still, yeah, really, really good stuff. Loads of catchy tunes on here. So that is Crazy World at number 6. Top 5 now. Top 5 are all absolute stunners. Love every single one of them. Number 5 is Savage Amusement from 1988. It's their 10th album, last album produced by Dieter Dierks. remember I had this one on vinyl, and a little bit disappointed when it came out just because of what came before, but yeah, it's still an excellent album. Don't Stop at the Top, Rhythm of Love, Passion Rules the Game, Media Overkill, for example, all excellent tracks. Really like comes out of the gate well. First 4 tracks are superb. Love on the Run's a really good fast track. Every Minute Every Day, that's another good one, and the mega ballad Believe in Love to finish off, which I think is an excellent ballad, and a great track as well. Probably a little bit more commercial than the album before it, once again, but still, it's got a decent amount of crunch, and it's some great songs on here, so really good, superb album, well up there with a lot of their best stuff. So Savage Amusement from 1988, and that is my number 5. Number 4, I have gone for Animal Magnetism, which is their 7th album from 1980, produced by Dieter Dierks, as everything is from going forward here. Yeah, good, cool cover, really like the cover. It's sort of very random, but yeah, do like it. I think it's probably my favourite of their covers, maybe. Loads of really good tracks on here. Make It Real, 20th Century Man, Animal Magnetism, Lady Starlight's a good one as well, with the sort of orchestral feel to it. The Zoo to finish off, and Falling in Love, probably my favourite track on here actually. Really good. Yeah, this is when they were starting to really hit the top 4 albums, so for me their prime. Yeah, not a lot wrong with this one. Excellent album, and that is Animal Magnetism in at number 4 from 1980. Number 3, tricky to put this one only at number 3. Love Drive from 1979, 6th album overall. It's the first album to feature Matthias Jabs on lead guitar. Michael Schenker does play some lead guitar on some of the tracks. Roth left, Jabs came in, then Schenker wanted to have a go, so he did, and then he left, so they had to almost beg Jabs to come back. He's been with them ever since, but yeah, superb album. Loads of classic tracks on here. Loving You Sunday Morning, Another Piece of Meat, Coast to Coast instrumental, which is superb. Can't Get Enough. Love Drive, and also the big ballad Holiday at the end. All classic stuff, and yeah, just a mega superb album. Only number 3 from 1979 for Love Drive, and it's a mega album, but obviously the 2 above it are mega albums. So we have number 2, Blackout from 1982. This is their 8th album. The cover is Gottfried Helmwein. It's a self-portrait of him, not, as some people think, actually Rudi Schenker, although he does do the pastiche of it in the No One Like You video. But yeah, but iconic cover. Originally, when this was being recorded, Klaus Meine had lost his voice. He wasn't sure whether he was going to be able to record the album, so the demos were actually done with Don Dokken on vocals, and he does do the backing vocals on this album as well. He's credited with that. Once again, loads of classic tracks: Blackout, Can't Live Without You, No One Like You, Give Me All I Need. Dynamite's on here, Arizona, China White, When the Smoke Is Going Down. It's almost the greatest hits. It's superb. Nothing at all bad about this album. It's all killer, no filler. And that's my number 2, Blackout from 1982. Mega album. And so my number 1 pick is Love at First Sting. Could it be anything else? No. This is their 9th album from 1984. The classic lineup of Buchholz, Ravel, Meine, Jabs and Schenker. One of the first heavy metal records to be digitally recorded, apparently. Once again, like a mega greatest hits: Bad Boys Running Wild, Rock You Like a Hurricane, I'm Leaving You, Coming Home, Same Thrill, Big City Nights, As soon as the good times roll, Crossfire and Still Loving You, the mega ballad at the end. This was the first Scorpions album I ever heard, and it kind of did blow me away, sort of set me up really for the rest of their catalogue at the time. So this was the new album when I heard it. So yeah, superb. Can't really say enough about it. That's good. You know, blast this out in the car, and it's always going to be great when you're racing along. Just a superb album. Every track's an absolute stormer. So yeah, if you're new to the Scorpions, probably check this one out first, because it will not disappoint. So that is Love at First Sting at number 1 from 1984. So that's the top 10. I do have other albums of theirs. I've got Virgin Killer. This one is from 1976. Same band as In Trance. It's a good looking bunch of guys. It's their 4th album. Obviously originally had a very controversial cover. We won't delve too deeply into that or at all. But yeah, suffice to say the cover was changed to that monstrosity. Yeah, it's a decent album. Some good sort of metal tracks on it. Pictured Life, for example. Catch a Train, good stuff. Backstage Queen, Virgin Killer. It's got some shockers on it, like Hellcat, for example, which is an Uli Roth song, which, yeah, once again he sings. It's like, don't let him sing. You know, there's absolutely no need for the man to sing, but great guitarist. Taken by Force, another great album. It's the first one with Herman Rarebell on drums, and the last one with Ulrich Roth on guitar. Original cover had it was like a graveyard scene with kids in it. So they changed that anyway. That's the back cover. Once again, it's not the greatest replacement cover, but some good tracks on here. Steam Rock Fever is good, and Sail to Sharon is also very good. So yeah, that one from 1977, 5th album. Return to Forever. This one's from 2015. This is their 18th album. It's a bit of a comeback album. Nothing bad about it, nothing fantastic about it. It's got dates inside for the 50th anniversary tour. It's the last one with James Kotak, and produced by Nord Anderson and Martin Hansen once again. So the same as whichever album it was. Sting in the Tail. So yeah, same production duo. Going out with a bang. We built this house of cards. There's, you know, some good stuff on here, but there's nothing for me that's outstanding that makes me say, oh yeah, no, you've got to check this out. But inoffensive enough. So yeah, microphone died, so I'm having to re-record the last 4 minutes. Honestly, you can't make it up with this fucking video, man. It is just the worst I've ever done. But yeah, 4 more to do, just from my collection. Face the Heat, this one here. This one is from 1993. It's a 12th album produced by Bruce Fairbairn. Last one with Herman Rarebell on drums, and it's got Ralph Reicherman on bass. A fairly unremarkable recording, nothing bad about it, but I don't think there's anything amazing either. Alien Nation, No Pain, No Gain, pretty decent tracks. There's nothing fantastic on here. It's a fairly sort of by the numbers Scorpions album, typical of that sort of period really, where a lot of the rock bands were sort of struggling to find something to do that was worthwhile. But say not awful, it's listenable album, but not fantastic. I have also got Eye to Eye. This one here, I've not heard. You can't stream it on like Amazon Music, which I use. So I'd not heard it before I bought it. I'd heard that it was fairly commercial, and it is very, very commercial. It's almost like a pop album. They do look pretty gangster on the back, but yeah, not a great album. Probably their worst album, to be honest with you, that I've heard. This came out in 1999. It's their 14th album, produced by Peter Wolf. First with James Kotak on the drums, the last one with Reicherman on bass. I've listened to it once, didn't really have any urge to listen to it again, so Give it a go just out of morbid curiosity if you get the chance, but it's not a good album in my opinion. You might love it, let me know if you do. Worldwide Live, live album from 1985, produced by Dieter Dierks. This is from the Love at First Sting tour. This is excellent, one of the best live albums, one of my favourite live albums, should I say. Originally released obviously on vinyl and cassette, and when they did do the original cassette CD version, I had to take tracks off due to time constraints. This remaster version's got all the tracks added back in. I think they took about 3 or 4 out. But yeah, really superb. There was a VHS of this at the time as well. Not sure if they've redone it on Blu-ray or DVD. But if you get the chance to watch the video of Worldwide Live, it's also well worth checking out. Really, really good. Last album I own is Classic Bites, which is a bit of a random compilation. It's not even what I would call a greatest hits, because it's really not. But it is tracks from Crazy World and Face the Heat, and also a live version of In Trance randomly. I don't really know why this exists, but I picked it up for £1 from the charity shop, and you know, that was okay for me. So, but yeah, it's a very, very random release. A few other albums which I don't have. The first 2 albums which I've not even heard, Lonesome Crow and Fly to the Rainbow from the early 70s, apparently very proggy. Not that I'm against that sort of thing, I just haven't got round to listening to them. Let me know if you're a fan of those albums, whether I should be checking them out. Unbreakable, I think came out around, came out after Humanity Hour 1. A bit more of a sort of back to basics Scorpions album. Checked that out a couple of times, didn't find it amazing, thought it was okay. Once again, similar to Face the Heat, it's, you know, kind of by the numbers, nothing too inspiring. What else is there? They did the Come Black album where they re-recorded a bunch of their stuff, like classic tracks, and some cover versions, which I felt was probably unnecessary. Pure Instinct as well, that's another one which is of similar sort of fairly meh, you know, lots of ballads, not really too much going on. Not a great fan of that one. That's quite hard to get hold of actually. That really is about it. I think they did maybe an acoustic album, as all bands tend to have done around that sort of time. That was the vogue thing. So yeah, that's my top 10. Let me know if you agree with any of my choices. Let me know what your favourite ones are. Any that I missed out that I really need to check out. I think I've heard most of them, say apart from the first 2. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for all the new subscribers. And I will catch you next time. Probably do another recent editions video, because I bought a few bits recently, so there's a few to be going on there with some interesting stuff. So catch you all next week for that one. In the meantime, you take it steady. Thank you. Cheers.